Yeah. I know nobody was expecting me to do this tonight, man. I know nobody was expecting me to do this tonight, but we about to check this out, man. Yeah, so people that's going to be tuning in shortly, Dobrik has responded. He got his second response video out. The first one people was quite upset about being so short, but this one is about 7 minutes long, and people are going to have some stuff to say about this. So I'm curious to see what it is that he has to say. I was just online talking to Dylan Talks, and he was like, yo, David dropped the video response number 2. Run over there and check it out. It's currently 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just got finished trying to knock out some orders for you guys, but unfortunately I ran out of bubble mailers, so we about to dive into this video. Y'all, let's check this out. Y'all boys, girls ready? I'm ready. David, what you got to say, man? This is a mess.
Guys, it's 1:45 in the morning, and
is he on the East Coast? Because it's that time here.
I'm finally by myself, which I know doesn't sound that crazy to be by yourself at 1:45 in the morning, but this week's been pretty hectic, and there have been a lot of people around telling me what to do, giving me advice, trying to help me, most importantly, and that was a lot, and I just want to be able to do this and just shoot straight into the camera and just talk to you guys. I've put myself in a lot of situations where I've needed to apologize for my past actions, and I've never done this correctly, and I've never done this respectfully. Okay. And my last video is a testament to that. I don't want to defend that video. I don't want to delete that video. Sure. I just want to be clear. What this video isn't going to be is it's not going to be me discrediting Trisha, Kat, or any other woman involved. I'm going to be using words that may trigger some survivors, and that's just so I don't explain anything vaguely, and I can explain every situation appropriately. I want to start this video off by saying I fully believe the woman who came out against Dom and said she was by him. As was reported, the next day I got consent to post the video. Even though I got the consent to post that video, I should have never posted it. And what I understand now, and I didn't understand before, is that she sent that text because she felt like she had to, not because she wanted to. And that's fucked up, and I'm sorry. When she later reached out a couple months later to take the video down, I immediately took it down, and I want to apologize to her and her friends for ever putting them in an environment that I enabled that made them feel like their safety and values were compromised. I'm so sorry. I was completely disconnected from the fact that when people were invited to film videos with us, especially videos that relied on shock for views or whatever it was, that I was creating an unfair power dynamic. I did not know this before. It was completely wrong, and
Now I'm trying to think about that. He says he did not realize that he was creating a unfair power dynamic. I honestly, as much as I would want to believe that, I don't believe that. I'm pretty sure that he understands the influence that he has on people, and just by looking at the whole vlog squad in their entirety, like, he knows that he can get people to do stuff because of who he is and the following that he has. I'm more than sure he understood that. More than sure. You. It's hard for me to believe that, David. It's hard for me to believe that. You know, I've been a long time supporter of the channel, and I knew that watching every video. I'm like, yo, these folks will bend over backwards to do whatever David wants them to do in the video, just so they can build their following, build their clout, and to be in videos with him. And he had to know that when he invited other people along to be in the videos, that it was going to be the same thing. He had to know that, right? Right? He had to know that.
I wish I was more responsible, and I wish I was more aware at the time, and I'm so sorry I missed that. I didn't know what was going on in that room, and I should have been. I should have been there, and I should have been making sure that everybody involved was taken care of and wasn't uncomfortable. I don't want to use buzzwords to try to justify this or explain this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He said he didn't know what going on in that room. What room is he talking about? Is he talking about the room with the young ladies and Dom? Because if so, then that was a situation that should have never went down in the first place. And why would you be in that room if that type of activity is going down? Like I said, it should have never went down in the first place.
But all I can say is people felt like they had to be silent for the sake of my video. And that's not right, and it's fucked up, and I'm sorry. I also want to acknowledge the women that spoke out against Dom in 2018. I'm talking about Allie, and then I'm talking about other girls that addressed their problems privately or publicly. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you guys. I am sorry that I took Dom's word for what happened in those certain situations, and I didn't believe you. And not only did I not believe you, but I made a joke of what kind of a person Dom was, because I couldn't wrap my head around a childhood friend of mine doing this to people and actually hurting people, and I'm sorry for that. Not only did I discredit you, Allie, but I platformed Dom. And not only did I platform Dom, but I platformed the subject of sex in a negative way, where I made jokes about it, and I reinforced that kind of behavior.
Now, that did sound a bit more genuine, and that definitely sounded like an apology that is more acceptable. This kind of has me thinking about the Logan Paul and the Suicide Forest incident, where, you know, Logan was on such a high when it came to creating content that he was kind of obscured around like what was okay and what wasn't okay. You know, it seemed like David kind of went through this same sort of thing where, you know, he came to that realization later after the fact that, oh, I was on such a go mode with creating content and having that shock value that I really disconnected myself from this being bad versus this being good just for the content's sake. And it's like he's now coming into that realization, but only because of the negative way that it affected, you know, his audience, his fan base, his career. You know, it's like before that he was, if none of these allegations, none of this stuff came out, he probably would have continued to do what he had been doing, you know, once, you know, the state of our nation cleared up and this whole virus thing kind of settled down. He probably would have went right back into this stuff as if nothing was wrong. But because these allegations came out, now he has to reflect on himself and come to these realizations and have people, the right people, come to him and be like, yo, David, this is what they're saying. This is what's wrong. You need to listen. Listen to what the people are saying. Don't brush it off. Don't brush it under the rug. Don't laugh it off. This stuff is serious. Sit down. Pay attention. It's kind of a good thing that this stuff happened. It's kind of a good, when I say happen, I mean the fact that people are coming out about this stuff. It's a good thing. Because now he realized what wrongdoing, you know, he had in taking a part in all this stuff.
And I'm so sorry. And I really let not only you down, but a lot of people down. A lot of people that watch me and my friends and family for that. I made the decision to no longer film with Dom in 2019. And I'm not saying my content has been brilliant since then, but that's when I first started taking into account the power dynamic and what influence I had on people that I was filming with. But what I didn't do is I didn't go back to any of these women and apologize. I kind of moved on and I learned from it and I grew from it, but I didn't address the situation with these women. I'm not talking publicly, I'm saying even privately. I didn't reach out to any of these people.
You know why I think that is? You know, I don't think he reached out because I don't think he realized, I don't think he really paid attention and realized just how wrong some of those things were. And I see what some of you guys are saying. People saying cancel culture is so closed-minded and stubborn. I agree. I do agree with that. People are saying, I don't feel bad for this man. Everyone knows what's wrong and what's right. To some degree, yes. To some degree, yes. But like I said, with him, I'm not so sure that he realized what was wrong in those times that they were wrong, because if he really did, to the extent that they were, I don't feel like he might have known things were wrong that was happening and going on in his videos and his content, but I don't think he knew the severity of them or how they were negatively impacting others, because I honestly feel that if he did, he probably would have stopped. But he was like, laughed it off. Things happen. Let's keep pushing through. Heck, the vlog squad, so much messed up stuff have happened to them. They laugh it off. So what? Other people are gonna come in. They're gonna experience some of this messed up stuff with us. We're gonna laugh it off. It's gonna be a great story for the future to tell our kids. That's where I think his mind, and it's not right still.
And that breaks my heart, knowing that I was doing all this stuff and I was making all this content while there was people that were still really hurt by what I made. Before my content shifted to be more responsible and positive, I said and did things that were really offensive, and I called them bad jokes, and I can't even call them bad jokes, and it was cowardly of me to say.
I mean, I remember there was a clip, after that whole incident with Dom, where David, he got into his vehicle and he had his friends in there with him, and he said something happened. I think we can go to jail for this. He knew that was wrong. He knew that was wrong in that time. And this is not me coming on here, wanting to gain any clout off of this. Like, I wasn't even thinking about this video. Shout out to Dylan Talks. He the one that told me to cover this video and have the necessary conversation and go into a different perspective about this whole situation and to dissect it for what's coming out of his mouth versus how we see it being fans. Because I done seen every single David Dobrik vlog there ever was. You know what I'm saying? So reflecting on my own memory around these situations, because I saw them as they happened, and realizing, because I possibly like him, I didn't realize just how bad things were then. But to some degree, he had to, because he was the one filming all that stuff. He was the one editing the videos of all that stuff. I saw the 4-minute and 20-second clips of that stuff. So did you guys. But for people to have gone back and seen those videos and understand them for what they were after the fact makes me look at myself and be like, dang, how come I didn't catch that then? And how could he even allow that stuff to go down, being the fact that he is the one that, just putting this stuff on his channel. This stuff was bad. It was horrible.
In my last apology, that I missed the mark, because it's fucking gross, and I'm sorry. A lot of people reached out to me saying cancel culture is bullshit and you need to fight back and you need to call people out, and I don't agree with how this should be taken at all. And I think when there is a crisis, there's a serious opportunity to correct yourself, to learn and improve, and to make sure those mistakes don't happen again.
Now, pause for a second. Now, we're going back to his buddy, the African-American dude that lives here in Atlanta, that initially, came out about the situation of, him making out with so-and-so, not being Karina, but making out with, I can't remember the dude's name right now, but, and that was the thing that kind of sparked this whole cancel David type of thing, where, even, coming up with a situation with Dom and the girls coming out, talking about the whole encounter. But it started with that guy, you know what I'm saying? And his disapproval of what happened during that time, where they fooled him twice into making out with a dude, and that made him uncomfortable. But then obviously that audio footage coming out, or that audio coming out of him saying, hey, let's do this again as long as it builds my clout, and it's kind of like, all right, we done took that, and now other people are coming out saying, hey, this happened when I was with them, I experienced this. And obviously it's these females and stuff. But even then, when you look back at the vlogs and look back at some of the stuff that Dom was doing, you'd be like, yo, this dude was wild. He was making out with guys. He was making out with girls. This dude was wild. Like, these guys were getting drunk and stuff in so many different videos. Some stuff was going down. We didn't know what all was going down. We just saw the 4-minute and 20-second clip of all that stuff. But they knew. They all knew.
And that's why it's so important.
Yes, Seth.
to hold yourself accountable. And I think with this situation, there's a lot I can look at and there's a lot I can learn from, but there's a lot of mistakes that I made, and I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for everybody I've let down. I'm sorry to my family, and I'm sorry to my friends that I've embarrassed, and that this won't happen again. I'm gonna take a short break from all the social media stuff because I realize there's a serious lack of infrastructure when I make any kind of content. And I wanna be able to have a place of checks and balances. I wanna have HR, and I wanna be able to have people communicate discomfort in a way that's comfortable to them, and where they don't feel like their emotions or what they're doing or how they're acting is compromised.
And that's what we're doing right now, you guys. We're having a communication about it. You know, before his last video, I don't know if he did in this video, but his last video, he turned off the comment section. As I watched this video is sitting at close to 300,000 views with 47,000 likes and 110 dislikes. So I'm thinking people are accepting this apology to some degree.
It doesn't feel right to go back to posting like I have been, and it also doesn't feel right to go dark because I love what I do. But I think it is important to show that change is possible and that I'm learning. Maybe even forgiveness is possible. I want to use this opportunity to step up and own my mistakes. And like I said before, I've never done apology the right way. And I'm sure I'm going to look back at this and I'm going to be pissed at some things that I didn't say, or I wish I could have added more. But this is my beginning to that, and I'm sorry for everybody that I hurt. I also want to add that I'm making myself available to anyone that wants to reach out that I've hurt in the past. I want to be able to hear and understand from yourselves, and I'll be reaching out on my own to some.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that, David. Y'all hear what he's saying? He said that he wants to make himself available to people that he feels that he has damaged or hurt in the past, and he wants to hear from them, and he said even he will reach out to people that he think he has hurt and damaged. I'm glad to hear that. That's a good thing. Do y'all believe him? Do y'all believe that everything that David is saying? I honestly, I do think that he is genuinely feels sorry. I hate that this is happening to David. You know what I'm saying? Like, for so long, I've been such a big fan and supporter of David Dobrik, and I really hate to see that this sort of thing is what we're seeing come from him. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, it was almost like he was a reality TV star. Some of that stuff was staged and set up, but at the same time, some of it was, you know, it was real because this stuff really happened to these people. These people really experienced these things and these incidences that occurred that really affected them in a negative way. And it sucks that, and this is something that I want people to start taking into account. Stop waiting so long to come out and address something that happened. Start talking about it as it happened. Because a lot of times what people would do, and it seemed like happened in this case, where people were protecting him. People know that he was so beloved by many, but you can also think of it like, well, if I come out and say something now about somebody who has such a large following, has so many eyes on them, that so many people love, there's going to be so much hate coming my way if I speak about it now. Maybe these people felt more comfortable, and this is me trying to, you know, dive into the different perspectives. I said one thing, now I'm saying this. Maybe these people felt more comfortable because of all the situations that were coming to light. So they're like, oh, now I can talk about my experience with David and the Vlog Squad because now all these people have said this stuff, and now all eyes are on them as if, you know, what they were doing was wrong, which what they did to me was wrong. You know, I that could be the other side of it too.
People, because I still have a lot of learning to do, and I think when you talk to other people, especially about experiences like this, it really helps you see things in a different way. But yeah, I'm sorry if this video was all over the place. I just wanted to sit and talk and ramble, and I really truly hope that someone can take something away from this experience, that another creator can take away from this. And I know it feels, because I know how crazy it felt to me, that there was some sort of toxicity or some sort of power dynamic in my friend group. But really just take the moment, especially when creating content that you're trying to get viewership out of, or you're trying to get laughs out of, like really take a moment and look at where the jokes end and where the feelings begin.
Yeah.
Because I think that's so incredibly important. Okay. I'll see you guys. Bye.
Yeah, he definitely said it right there, and that's the part that I would hope that he would take from this whole situation is paying attention to all right, where the jokes end or where the jokes begin versus where they end, and how it really affects folks. And that's like he said, all content creators across the board need to be taking that into account when it comes to what it is that they're putting out there for their viewers. And I would only hope, like he said, that so many people would watch this and learn from his mistake and maybe correct some of the things that they've been doing in their own content, go back and view some of their old content and get rid of that stuff so that it won't come back and hunt them, and while at the same time reaching out and apologizing. Because there's so many content creators out there that have done things that they have yet to be, been held accountable for yet. But anyway, what do you guys think about this whole thing? Do y'all think? I see people are putting W's in the chat and stuff. I see a few people. Y'all think that he's back on top with this? That his apology was enough? Do y'all think that more punishment needs to be had? I know a bunch of brands have been, pulled back. I heard about his app. They're pulling back those sponsors, all that type of stuff. People that's invested in him, they're pulling back. But what do you think my question too is, where do y'all think his content will go after this? Where do y'all think his content will go after this? Will he ever get back to the vlogs and doing stuff with the vlog squad? And will the stuff be toned down? Like, will people be not so, I don't know, like crazy in his videos? Like, I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this whole situation. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. This, I don't know. This is a mess. But he seemed like he done learned something from this. But only time will tell.